Hi, my name is Billy Graham Jr.
When I was growing up, everybody thought I was going to be an actor. They're like, you're funny, you should go be an actor. I was like, I can't be an actor, can't you see? What is my purpose? If you're like me, I lost my purpose. I didn't know who I was. I let society put me in a box. I don't want you to be in the box anymore. Because you and you only are the one carbon copy. There is no other you. So how can you be in a box if there's only one you? So you need to steal your power back. Because we gave it to somebody. I want you to say, steal your power back. Steal your power back.
Mr. Graham said, I am an original, I'm not a photocopy.
You are where it begins. It begins with you and only you. You are the director. You are the author of this book. Nobody should be writing your life story. You are the winner. See, a lot of us, we get caught up in wondering when we're supposed to do something, why we're supposed to do something, where we're supposed to begin. But I'm telling you, you are the author of your book, and that's all that matters.
My time here in Kenya has been amazing. Everybody has welcomed us with open arms ever since we landed. Nothing but hospitality, nothing but family. We felt like we were home.
What's up, what's up, what's up? And welcome to the Billy Graham Jr. TV show. Man, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I've been waiting since last week to get back to talk to y'all because, man, oh man. Do I want you to meet tonight? Now, y'all know we bring all types of people on here, different business owners, different personalities, so that you can learn how they're using their gifts to live in their purpose. Whether that be working a 9-to-5 or have they're entrepreneurs, they all have gifts and they're using them. And we're trying to help others learn how to use those same similar gifts so that they can live in their purpose. Now, you've met entrepreneurs, and there are many of you that have that entrepreneur and you don't know where to. Well, this amazing young lady that I'm bringing on tonight, oh my goodness, she is finna drop some jewels on you, some nuggets, drop bars, whatever you want to call it. I'm not even gonna hold y'all up because I know y'all probably like, who is it? Who is it? I could make you wait, but I'm not. I have to bring to you the one, the only Eden Jackson Esquire.
Hi, Billy. Thanks for having me on. And hi, everyone.
Thanking you for coming on.
And thank you, everyone.
I didn't know when this day would come, but I'm glad it's here.
Me too. Me too. I hope you had a great holidays, and I hope everybody else had a great holidays.
Oh, man. Now, we've had great holidays. I hope you did as well, but I know that you're about to bless us tonight.
Yes. So I'll give everyone. Go ahead, Billy.
Before we get into that, though, I can't hold up. I want you. Can you please introduce? I want you to give all that information because they're waiting to hear from you.
Okay. So my name is Attorney Eden Jackson. I'm a Georgia girl, so you might be able to hear it in my accent. Born and raised in Georgia. I've moved other places, but I've ultimately come back home to Georgia to raise my family and to start my business. So a little more background about me. So I went to undergrad in Georgia, and then from undergrad I went to law school in Florida because I thought I was getting away in Florida, even though, as we all know, it's not that far from Georgia. So I thought I was getting away. I actually wanted to go to Houston, but my mom said, "Oh, it's too far." So I ended up going to Florida. From Florida, I actually ended up moving to London. So I went further than Houston. So I got her. I moved to London, And then when I got my when I came back from London, I moved back home to Georgia. So I've traveled, I've gone around, so I know that Georgia is the place that I want to be.
Now, you're not gonna just skip over that because you wanted to go to Houston. Mom said no. How did mom sign off on going to London?
Well, actually, she did. So my mom is the type of. So my mom, she realized at a young age she couldn't tell me no. She knew I was gonna go. She knew I was gonna go. She knew I was gonna live. So she said, she would give advice and say, okay, if you're gonna do that, because I went to undergrad in Atlanta, and my mom used to live, work in Atlanta. She did not want me to come to undergrad in Atlanta. She said, Georgia State, that's downtown Atlanta. It's dangerous. I said, no, I'll be fine. She was like, I don't know about this. Don't you want to go to a small school in a small city? I said, no. I told her I did not want to go to a small school. So she knew she couldn't tell me no. So I actually wanted to go to a law school in Houston, but I applied one day late. So that's how I ended up going to Florida, because my application was late. And so she was kind of happy about that. She said, oh, yeah. Oh, well, I'm sorry that it was one day late. But then I said, okay, so when I graduated from law school, I said, oh, I want to move to London. And my mom said, I know she'll go. My dad didn't think I would go. So he didn't think I would go, but he bought me the ticket to go. He didn't think I would go, but he bought the ticket to go. So when I went, he was like, oh, my baby, she in the whole country. She don't know nobody, but, like you say, God got me through. And, and I had a wonderful time, experiencing different cultures, going to different countries, meeting different people. I had a wonderful time. So then that's when I came back. And when I came back, because during all of this, all of my colleagues, had taken the bar. I said, I'm not taking the bar. I'm going to live my life. So when I came back, I said, okay, I'm going to take the bar. So I ended up taking the bar, and then that's how we get here today. Now I started at a different area, but that's how I ended up being an attorney. So I went to do other things, and then I finally said, well, fine, I'll take the bar. And, and I'm glad I did. It did open up a whole new, world for me when I passed that bar.
Now, I told everybody you were going to come in dropping nuggets, and I'm starting to question, because all the key people that come on there dropping nuggets, and you just dropped two that I don't want the audience to miss. The first one was when you said at an early age, you were like, no. So we didn't know what your gift or how it was going to manifest, but we knew that you were going to make it happen. So by saying no, that could be a whole bunch of them. But last time I checked, lawyers fight to get their point across. So you were already a lawyer at an early age.
And people think attorneys like to argue. Some attorneys do, but attorneys more, we'll skip the arguing if we get to be right. We'll come out with the knowledge and say, you know what, you might be right on this point. However, this is the reason why I'm saying A, B, and C. We might let you concede some things, but we're not gonna concede everything. So yeah, at a young age, and like you said, you have to live in your purpose. I knew, and and because I have a son, and I think, and you have children, and you think, oh, I want them to do these things, because that's what you think about. You're like, oh, I want them to, be an astronaut and all of this, but it's ultimately gonna come down to what you want to do. Because my mom wanted me to be a dentist. She was adamant. Dentist. And the reason why, she said, oh, that's the person I have to give the most money to is the dentist. Yep. And they always telling me I need a fill-in, I need this, I need a tooth pull, I need this and that. And she's like, somebody in this family need to be a dentist because it's ridiculous. And I said, no, because I don't like the dentist. I'll go to the dentist, but I count the minutes until I'm out. I'm like, just get done. so I said, no, I won't be a dentist. And so, like I said, you've got to be the one who say, put that foot down and say, you know what, I'm gonna do what I want to do, because I know that if that's what I really want to do, I can make it work. If you go to something not really wanting to do it, nothing can make it work, because you won't ever be really happy with it.
Ooh, hold on. You're not finna gloss over that one. Let's recap. I haven't even got to what just popped in my head, but we're gonna recap. One, I want everybody to understand what Eden just told you. She's basically saying that when you're trying to live in your purpose using your gifts, it's not always that we're trying to stop you in a negative fashion. Sometimes, because let's be honest, our parents, they hold our hands when we're younger to cross the street. They don't let you start crossing the street by yourself until they feel that it's safe enough for you to start crossing the street. Yeah. When you drive a car for the first time, your parents don't feel safe until you get home. Like for me, myself, I don't feel safe until my kid texts me and says, I made it home safe. Eden just told you that your loved ones, family, and friends, they're not necessarily trying to stop you from living in your purpose, but they want to help guide you to the career path. So don't take it as a negative. Just understand that the vision that you have for your life, they don't necessarily see it because it's not their vision. God didn't have a conference call when he gave you the vision. He only was talking to you. Now, Eden tried to gloss over it because she was like, my dad bought the ticket. I don't know why. But she also said, what? Attorneys will turn around and say, no, you're right about that. But, so she was like, oh, you're right. Houston might be too far. You're right. Atlanta downtown might be not safe, but London on the hand. That's why your daddy bought the ticket. You persuaded him as a lawyer before you even finished passing the bar.
Don't get me started. I can believe that. I can believe that. I'm the only in my family. I'm the only girl, and my siblings say I get away with a lot. But I say I talk to my parents more in a way of saying, well, I know you're kind of worried about this, but the reason why you shouldn't be worried is because, A, B, and C. So when I was younger, I got to go a lot more places than my brothers, because my brothers didn't approach it that way. They was like, I want to go here. My mom's like, what's this place? Well, where is here? And then they would get mad because she was asking them questions. I said, see, if you really want to go somewhere, you got to tell her the information before. I'm like, oh, it's my friend Bill's house. He got a radio station. He wants me to come on. You got to come up, and then you might be holding something back, because we would be children. But, she felt like she had the details. Like, all right, it seems like it's a decent place to go to. Fine. So go ahead.
No. You already said it. You were just basically telling me like that. You taught me something right then. See, I learned something every time I'm doing this, but you just taught me something. It's not that because we're quick to when somebody's not in agreement with what we're trying to do with our life, we normally push them to the side and X them out and be like, you don't have the best interest for me. I'm not dealing with you. But in some cases, like you just said, people truly want to be on your side, but if they don't understand it, there are certain individuals that you have to, hey, let me go a step further with this particular person and help explain them what my purpose is and why I'm doing this, so they don't think I'm just blowing them off, and at the same time pushing them to the side.
Yeah, so I own my own law firm. So when I wanted to start my own law firm, obviously I'm gonna talk to my spouse, because that's gonna be some less money until the firm gets going. So that's the first person I'm talking to, and my spouse is an accountant. So he's a money man. He's looking at money. So he is an accountant. So he's a money man. So he's like, well, break down what you want to do. I'm like, well, this is why I want to do it. A, B, and C. What do you think? If you feel like, it might cause a strain, I can, save up more and then go into it. And he said, no, it's fine, because like you said, if I didn't explain it to him and just was like, I'm quitting my job, he would be like, what are you talking about? Like, don't worry about it. I'm just quitting my job. I'm pretty sure. So you got to, like you say, sometimes people, because, I always say sometimes people, they say, oh, they hating. Sometimes people are not hating on you. They really do want the best for you. But sometimes you come to them with half-baked plans. And when they're telling you, you might need to think about this a little bit more, that's not them hating. You probably should think about it a tad bit more. So, me personally, like I said, I have all brothers. And one of my brothers will always come to me with a half-baked plan. I'm like, girl, these cookies are not going to bake. They're just not going to rise. This cake won't rise. And it was like, why? I'm like, well, have you thought about this? And so me as, working with small business owners, that's really what mostly I do, is try to let people know the vision that they are seeing. It can't go the way they want it to go. And I'm like, well, they're like, I'm thinking about, and a lot of time it's like, so me and my business partner, we started a business. I'm like, oh, great. Do y'all have a partnership agreement? No. Okay, why not? Well, that's my mama. And okay, as we all know, sometimes family is the worst ones. You need to have it in writing. I'm like,
Yes.
what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, yeah, that is your mother, but it's great to have, that safety. Then I'm like, okay, well, we keep talking. I'm like, okay, you started up a business account, didn't you? A business bank account? No, I just put it in my own account. No, sir. And it's usually like, I'm
So
like,
you
look,
need two accounts? You need separate accounts?
you should have a separate account from your business, from your personal, just because if something basically you're setting yourself up for liability. So if somebody sues your company and you only got one bank account, that's the money that they're gonna be looking at. They're like, well, he got $100,000 in his account. And you're like, no, that's my personal. Well, where's your business bank account? I don't have one. Well, that's the money I want. So yeah, you should have two, and you should make sure that you using the business for the business and the personal for personal, because when you start commingling those funds, and like I said, you're opening yourself up for liability. So yeah, so and people come to me with these tidbits, and I'm just like, look, I know I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but as an attorney, that's my job. I had a law school professor who said attorneys should be the most negative person that they ever meet. That's me. Like, I'm always like I went to a birthday party. The kids was just chilling at the pool. No the adults was inside the house, and I'm like, so no one just gonna watch these kids at this pool? I'm just thinking drown, liability. Hope you got your house insurance together. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. So as a business owner, unfortunately, you should be thinking to be the most negative person at your business, because you should be thinking, I hired somebody. Did I give them an employment contract? No, I never gave him. I might need to give him an employment contract, because I don't want him, I need to set the parameters of what's happening. Like, oh, I'm creating copyright, trademarks. Did I give them a trademark assignment agreement? No, I didn't. Oh, if I don't, now he technically could say that he owns this copyright and trademark and take it with him when he leaves the business. So it's kind of like, unfortunately, I have to talk to people. That's what I'm talking to people about almost all day. I'm like, yeah, you might need to think about this. And some people do get upset with you. They really do. They get mad at you because you're saying, well, yeah, I know, cousin Pookie is your best friend, but you still need he needs a partnership agreement. You need to, come up with what you guys are going to split this money and how it's going to be split, and basically set some parameters. And people are like, well, you're trying to make it seem like my cousin's going to cheat me. I'm not making it seem like anything. I'm just saying you came to me for a service. I'm trying to provide you that service, so you need to think about these things.
Now,
So
now hold on. 'Cause you just gave us a lot. You gave us the partnership agreement. You
yes,
told us about the 2 bank accounts
yes,
to separate them at least. Then you told us
yes.
about the trademark.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to go back. We got to go back. We got to go back because I got my notepad and pen. I'm taking notes, and we need to go back to the beginning so we all on the same page. So
Okay.
we don't look like the individuals you say that call you after the fact.
Yes.
Can you please explain to us all where we're supposed to start it?
Okay. So, like I'm telling you, I'm a business and trademark attorney, and I also do copyright, but mostly business formation, contract work, and then which is when I usually set up those partnership agreements, employment agreements, independent contractor agreements. Whoever you're working with, you need to have agreement. And then I do trademark work. So, I register your mark with the USPTO, which gives you, some kind of brand protection. So if someone's trying to, like Nike, when you think about Nike, you're like, money. That's what a trademark does for a company. So a trademark creates brand recognition. And as we know, brand recognition creates money because people go to the brands they like, the brands they think are cool and whatever. They go to it. That's why people were standing outside for J's. I'm not going to be up at 5 a.m. for that, but that's other people who want to do that, perfectly fine. But that's what Nike and their trademark is creating.
I felt like you attacked me right there.
Oh no.
That was the 90s. That was the 90s. That was the 90s.
See, now I have always loved my sleep, so I know I wasn't getting up at that time. And to stand outside in the cold, I used to have a friend who would stand out there in the Atlanta cold waiting for them shoes. And I'm like, sir, I will see you at 9. You want me to bring you coffee? Because I won't be up. So the first thing that you should do. So most people when they start a business now, because of TikTok, which we'll get to that, but TikTok is like my frenemy. I cannot stand TikTok because people on TikTok put what the people sometimes people have great, advice. But 80% of the time, the advice that people get from TikTok is illegal. I'm like, you can't. Okay, go ahead, do it. Yeah, sure. When people say,
No, don't talk over that. Don't talk over that. Let's stop.
I'll give you an example.
What's this illegal advice?
So I will give you an example. So for one, I also do some closings, so real estate closings, and I always hear on TikTok, it's like, don't buy this house and tell them it's a commercial that you want it for a residential price, but then you rent it to Airbnb. I'm gonna let you know that's illegal. And there is a form in the closing papers that says, is this house is this your primary residence, or is this gonna be for commercial? And you say no, and you sign it, and I notarize it. And the reason why they're asking you this is because one, commercial properties, residential properties, even though the interest is a little higher, you pay it off longer. So more people want to pay off longer. A commercial property or rental property or whatever, the interest is lower, but you have to pay it off way faster, like 10 years. People don't want to pay off a house in 10 years. Wow. So they say, oh yeah, I'm going to live here, and then they move out. And this is the kind of information people get from TikTok. And I'm like, and I'm in many attorney groups where there's only attorneys, and we like crack up at these things. We're like, okay, sir, sure. Go ahead if you want to. And the other thing is when people make like the keychains that say Chanel, or they make the fake shirts with the circuit. That's trademark infringement. It's illegal. And people like on TikTok is like showing you how to do it. They're like, you get the circuit, you put the Nike on the thing, you cut it out, you put it on there, and you sell it. It's a great business. And I'm like, okay, sir, you really want to go to jail? Like, and now a lot of brands are really policing their mark. So they are looking at these TikToks and like, I'm about to go get these people. And next thing you know, you got cease and desist letters telling you to get rid of all of this stuff, or you're gonna need them. I saw one TikTok and the lady, she was like, "Oh yeah, Nike sent me a lawsuit for $1 million because she was selling fake Nike," and I'm like, she was like, "Don't be like me, don't be an idiot," and I'm like, "Thank you, finally someone says it." Like, yeah, this is illegal, and I probably shouldn't be doing this. Yeah, and a lot of brands are starting to like crack down because they're just sick of it. So they're like, they're going after the small people, the middleman people, the large people. They don't care no more. They're like, we're trying to arrest you because what you are doing is illegal. I know, unfortunately.
I'm glad you explained that.
So the first
I'm
thing,
so glad you explained that to us, because
you shot.
keep going.
You shot. Oh, I was like, "Are you shot Billy about this?" So yeah. So the first thing people normally do, because one, like I said, they look at TikTok and TikTok tells them, is to get an LLC, which is a good start because once again, that LLC is protecting you from liability. So if you just you're running a business, you don't have an LLC, don't have business formation, and let's say somebody, you selling shirts and somebody get your shirt, and next thing you know, the shirts you got was from China and they had some lead, and then the people get sick, they're gonna sue you. Now you want them to go after the LLC money, not your personal money, because you could test under the LLC,
yes.
You could say, we ain't got no money under the LLC. You fold the business, you do a bankruptcy, you done. But if you're going after you got a house under your name, you got some cars, you need to really have those business formations, make sure you have them. The second thing, so unfortunately, the step that I normally tell people to go to is next to get is to trademark. Trademark your brand, trademark your business. But that is a step that usually is skipped. So I always say it's 50-50. So 50% of people come to me before they even have a business and they're like, I want to do a trademark, which you can do. And the other 50 come back to me after and they say, yeah, I was on Instagram and I saw somebody using the same name as me, and I've been running this business for 5 years. What's wrong with these people? Nothing. They're just stealing your brand. I'm like, oh, is it federally trademarked? No, I didn't even think that. I didn't need that. And it's like, well, this is why you need it, like, and you have to police your mark, but when people see that you have a registered trademark, more than likely they'll leave it alone. Sometimes people like, I don't care. The more money you make, but so the more money you make, the more money you can sue. You have to sue. But I like to tell people that should be your second step, but that's not the step that people go to second. Second, people usually expand. So they say, got some extra money now, I want to expand. And another thing, I'm sorry, another thing is step 2 and 3 probably should be trademark and get a tax attorney. They don't do either one of those. So then you got issues with the IRS. and I'm like, yeah, you should. If you were running the business and you were making good sales, you need to have a tax attorney, because the government, because half of the time most people don't take out enough when they do the when they pay their business taxes. So I mean, eventually you'll get audited and then you'll be getting hit with a bill. Then like, oh, we did and we got your money. Technically, you owe us $40,000, and you like, And then we all know, if you don't know, the IRS loves penalties. So you haven't paid them their money on time. And now they're gonna add you. You like, darn, I already owe you $40,000. Now you telling me you're gonna add on another $10,000 of penalties? I don't, so the IRS loves to do that. They love penalties. They love it. I feel like that's how the IRS is funded. They're like, he's late. How much should we put on the penalty? 25%? Yeah, that sounds good. I've seen it. It doesn't seem like they got any rhyme or reason. They probably do. Like I told you, my spouse is an accountant, so he probably knows what the percentage is. But I just feel like sometimes the percentage of the penalties are ridiculous. I'm like, sir, no. Where's this $10,000 coming from? So yeah, you should. I would suggest lease. You might not need them throughout the year, but at least get them to do those taxes for you and pay that extra money. And it might be a little more expensive because business taxes is a little bit more complicated, but at least have somebody figure that out for you. Instead of you thinking, yeah, I'm good, I paid them, and then they come back to you and they never come back the next year. They always want to do an audit 4 years later. You're like, what? I don't even know what these papers are. So it's never the same year. It's like, you telling me I owe you all this money? I got to find these receipts and all of this. So yeah, that's, from there, is you really should. Those are the things you really should have in place if you plan on, or which we all plan on, having a successful business, because you haven't trademarked your name. And make sure you get a website. You will never believe me when I tell you, like, people who come to me, I'm like, okay, what's your website? Oh, I don't have a website. I'm like, well, how are you selling? I send a text out to my homies. Then they buy something, and then Instagram. And I'm like, okay, that's great. But get some type of website because not all. One, if you are only on Instagram, you're limiting yourself, because my mama don't have an Instagram. My grandma don't have an Instagram, but they love to shop online. So you might be cutting yourself out for some customers. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I have Instagram, but I'm not on it all day like some people. So I'm like, yeah, if you give me a website, I will go and look on the website. I've bought stuff from my clients before. I'm like, dang, this is nice. You know what? I buy this shea butter. Let me go and order that. But if you don't have a website, it's like, sir, please, you need to make sure you're thinking about that. Everyone's not young like you. Because a lot of young people say, oh, I'm only on Instagram. I sell on Instagram because, they're young. But you're limiting your customer base, because, my mom buys me stuff all the time. My mom buys, my nieces stuff all the time. So, yeah, it might be for a young customer base, but the old people need to figure out how to get to it. Trust me, it was enough to teach my grandma how to use Amazon. She not going on Instagram.
No, she's not.
She's not going on Instagram. It was enough teaching her Amazon.
Not at all.
Put it in your cart. Click here. Now, do you want some other stuff? Okay, if you want to take it out the cart, and this is what you do. It was too much. So y'all need to get a website. Oh my goodness.
Nah, I don't want you because you told us we need to have a website. You told us that C's. You told us that we have to trademark. You told us about our bank accounts. Everybody on here, I don't know if you're paying attention, but you're dropping jewels. Goldie says you're dropping jewels. Ernest Fishburne, my brother, is saying that property formation is everything, and that Ernest Usher is telling we have to keep listening to you. I want you to understand something. At this point right now, this show isn't just about how you're using your gift to live to others, live in their purpose as you live in your purpose. Right now, everybody can see from base like what you're telling us how you're using your gift to live in your purpose and help others live in their purpose. So now I'm doing what I'm finna do because I'm over here, whether you believe it or not, taking notes.
Okay.
I want you to go to the next step because we're up now to where we have to have a website. Can you tell us like how much this normally would cost to get going? Because most people just think, oh, they tell us on TikTok and everywhere else, it costs nothing to start a business.
Yeah. So
Based on what you're telling us, I'm like, how much is we should have?
Okay. So to start up the bank account is free. So you go to the bank, you have to have your EIN number, and you need to have your business registration. Now, EIN number is free. Now, trust me, there are companies that say you can get your EIN number for $90. That is a scam. You don't have to pay these people anything. The federal government gives it to you for free. So make sure if somebody is trying to tell you that it costs this money, that's a lie. Because when I first started my business, I'm like, $90? This don't cost $90. What is this? What is am I signing up for? Then I realized because they have a website that's close to the government website, it might be like, let's say EIN gov.com. So you see the gov and you're like, oh yeah, this is it. But that's not it. You got to go to that .gov, So okay. That's one thing. For personally, they almost got me. I said, wait a minute, this is free. What are they talking about? And me personally, I don't want to pay for nothing. So you start telling me I got to pay for something, I'm gonna look. I'm like, wait a minute, let me go in here and Google this because I don't want to pay for nothing. Now, the bank account, you take that business registration. The business registration is, in Georgia is $100. I don't know about, other states, but it's probably around the same amount, about $100, maybe, $150. So in Georgia it's $100. So you get that, and it's really fast in Georgia. You get it in 7 days. So you tell them the name, they look up the seat, make sure the name is, available. They say, good, they take your money. 7 days, they sending you the business registration form in the email, and then I think they mail you one too, but you get the one in the email. That's perfect enough. You go to the bank with that. Now that you take that EIN number and you take that business registration, you go to the bank. They set it up. It's free. They'll set the bank account up. You don't have to have any money to start the bank account. From there, you're like, oh, I'm doing great. Boom, yeah. Because you're going to be feeling happy. You're like, I'm doing it. Now, from there, if you have not set up your website, I would suggest setting up your website. And I'm going to tell you why. Lots of people, business might start getting great. And that's right when somebody, a troll is what I call them, but domain squatter, decides to buy the name that you want on your domain. And they're like, well, yeah, you can buy this for me for $5,000, when it probably costs them, to set up a website, it's probably about $60, $70 to buy the domain name. And now they're trying to get it for $5,000. And people, I told people, if I had the time to be like really looking in the media, looking up, because I think like Young Thug, I think the same thing happened to him. He didn't get a website. Then he wanted to get youngthug.com. Somebody had got the name and squatted, and he had to pay he paid somebody like $50,000 to get his name, to get this website name. It's a good business. I personally wish I had the time to really be like looking in the media and like, this dude is up and coming artist. I'm about to get his web name. I just don't have time for that, So, make sure. So that's usually $100. Now the business, so the trademark, it depends on the attorney. Some attorneys are expensive, some attorneys less expensive. Me personally, I only work with small business owners and I work with startups. So my fees are lower than the average in Atlanta. Houston, y'all up there with Atlanta. We can get expensive. So we can get expensive. Now, my fees is $1,600 per a mark, but I also offer a payment plan. So because one, I used to like I say, working with small business owners. So then I split it up in 2 payments. Most business owners, that's perfect for them. They go, they're like, oh, the 2 payments is perfect. From there, business contracts, it depends on the contract. I mostly started about $500 and then I go up by difficulty. Now, if you are coming to me, now I'm in Atlanta, so I do licensing agreements, royalty agreements as well. If you come to me with like a royalty agreement, it's going to be expensive because especially if it's music, because you have to split it. You probably got a producer who needs some money, and then you got the person who originally made the beat, and then you got a person who put a drop the chorus on there. You know, it's like it's too many people, so I got to go to all these people and say, first of all of those people need their own attorney. So I got to go through all these attorneys and we got to try to come and we make this thing. Yeah. When it comes to that, I'm like, it's too much. Yeah. We go up from there. You know what I'm saying? Now, sometimes, and I do nonprofit work, like setting up nonprofits and getting that 501 C formation. That can be a little bit more expensive as well, because when you have a nonprofit, you need a board, a director, and then like at least 2 board members in Georgia. I don't know about other places, but it's pretty much the same. I think it's pretty much the same. And then you have to come up with bylaws between those 3 people. That is the most time. It takes forever, because what happens is one person is like, I think we should all get 30%. And then the remainder goes back into the nonprofit. And then it's like people like, oh, no, wait a minute. No. And then we got to go through that. It's like, how much do you want to get paid? How much do you want to get paid? You're like, well, I think the board of directors should have like $50,000. You're like, okay, that's a lot, but fine, let's go. You know, because and people get this mistaken. A nonprofit does not mean the people who work at the nonprofit are for free. But people do think like, oh, nonprofit means the people who work here are volunteers. There are nonprofits like that, and all the money goes back into the nonprofit. But there are nonprofits like Red Cross, and the like board of directors at the Red Cross is making like $700,000 a year.
Huh?
Yeah, he making big bank. So yes, people at the nonprofit can get paid. So you know, that's why, you know, some people, that's just, you know, kind of what they do. They go work at a nonprofit and they do nonprofit work, and they can make a salary. Like, it doesn't mean they work for free. Now I see I stumped you, Billy.
Yeah, you did, because like I know about the bylaw part, but I didn't know it went. So the bylaw only need to be required for the nonprofit, or should we worry about bylaws for other organizations as well?
So
because
if
obviously
you're
they're making money.
any organization, you should probably have bylaws, because, and this is why, because people need to know what's allowed and what's not allowed. You know, you need to, I always say,
Okay.
you want to dictate to a person, you don't want them to dictate to you. So you need to have that in the writing. You know, this is what we're going to be doing. And if you don't do this, we're going to have some issues. You know, that's what you don't be like, you know, you get blindsided at the end and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know that he was, you know, this was going to happen. And you're like, well, where's your agreements? Oh, we don't have any. And this is why I really, 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 really try to tell people to have partnership agreements, employee agreements, any type of agreements, because when you are doing that, you're leaving yourself open for one, liability. 2, you are going to allow these people to dictate to you in their terms. And usually when they come blindside you, they have the upper hand. Ooh. So you don't want that. I don't want that. I'm like, my best friend works for me like part-time, and I gave her an employment contract. And that's my best friend. So I'm like, oh, no. I don't want nothing crazy to happen. So, you know, I don't care. Like I say, I don't care if it's mama, brother, husband, any of them. And them, as we know how we say, and them, they need to have some type of agreement. Just because you don't want these people dictating you. And usually when this is happening, when these people come to you with dictations, it's always in the time of your life you got other stuff going on, and you like, I got to deal with this, I got to deal with this. It's better to have it in writing. So so even if you do have to deal with it, you got something to take to court and say, this is what we agreed to. I don't know what she's talking about. She need to go over there with all that. I'm not doing it, so
Exactly.
that's how you need to have those agreements, just to cover you, because when you're a small business owner, this is the money that you make for your family. So if somebody is suing you, they're taking the money from your family. So this is why it's so important to have protections and make sure all these protections are in place. Because if you are only working at your small business and all these lawsuits, somebody suing you and all this, that is going to take money from your family. So you need to make sure you're protecting your family's money. Protect it.
And the way they protect it is by getting you.
Yes. And also another way to protect. So so I've been trying to preach that, people do everything they need to in the business, and they get the contract and then they get the attorney. But a lot of what I'm seeing in communities, especially lower income communities and Black communities, is we have a business and then we die. And we have no estate planning. We haven't planned anything for who gets our business, how is it going to be run when we die, our money from the business, and then the family fights or somebody partnership fights, and the business that you worked so hard for now is gone. And so I've also been trying to preach that to business owners that, hey, I know we know I don't want to think about death. But we need to think about death if we want this money to be generational.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, we're gonna die. Like it's gonna happen. But we need to make sure that we also have a plan for not only our family but for our business. So we know where it goes, what happens to it. So that everything that you work for, isn't in vain.
Is that something that you do as well, or is that something you would recommend us follow?
So I have started doing estate planning work. I've been doing estate planning, can be a very nuanced. So I've been the last few months I've been doing basically getting up to par with it. I've gotten some partners now, some people who've basically been teaching me the ropes of the nuanced work as far as like trust, wills. So yeah, I would say I'm comfortable with doing like simple wills and simple trusts, but eventually I do want to I'm growing as I go, because I like to say this, most small low income minorities and Black people, only about 30% of us have estate planning. Just 30.
Wow.
So we need this. If we're in a lower income community, or we're the ones who the government is taking advantage of us, because we die without wills, and then our family fights over the property, and then in the end we don't have, now we fought all the money out, and who gets the property? Usually the government. So we need to make sure that we are really, conscious about, where our belongings are going to go when we die. Because you don't want your family fighting when you die. You want them happy. So, you need to make sure every person is given, their share. Now, I tell people, if you got a house, do not leave your house to 5 people. It's just already going to cause issues. I always say, if you were like, I don't have any money, this is what you do. You give the house to one person, and the other 4, you make sure you have 4 life insurance policies that go to the other 4 people. Now, if you don't know, a life insurance policy is not that expensive. Them like right now I have a life insurance policy, like 200,000, and I've got to pay like $20 a month. It's something crazy. It's like, it's not really. I thought life insurance was expensive, and then I'm over here looking into it, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not even that expensive. I need to get this, and you know, and my spouse was like, what do you need that for? And I said, well, you never know. We live in Atlanta. People driving crazy. I just want people to, you know, you guys to be protected just in case. So, you know, like I say, you know, unfortunately, those are the things we got to think about as business owners. We got to say, you know, make sure we're spending our money properly. Then we got to say, okay, if I die or I get sick, you know, who's going to run my business? Who's going to do this? So, you know, we got to think about a whole slew of things.
Man, I'm over here trying. I'm like everybody else that's out here listening. I'm digesting all of this because you literally have taken us from the formation of the business to through how to get it going and make the money and how to make sure it's safe and protected, all the way to how to protect the business long after we're gone and how to help our
because
family members keep going, not have to fight over it. Now,
if you're starting a business, that should be your goal. It's long term, not, you know, always, you know, that's what your business should be, long term. Like, I know I want this business to feed my family, and I want to live a good life, and I want to go on vacation when I want to go. But then you have to think about, you know, longer than that. You should be like, okay, if I want to be able to retire, and I need to have how much money in retirement? Oh, okay, if I die, I got 3 kids. I want them to be able to go and build and do whatever they, you know, and that's how you have to do it. You know, you got to make sure you're thinking about, you know, death. Unfortunately, you know, you got to think about, okay, if I die, what will my family get right now? Is it protected? And right now, you know, it's not. You know, a lot of people, it's just they don't want to think about that. It's like, no, I don't want to think about it. But it's better for you to go and think about it now, because you don't want to be thinking about it if you 90 and you're about to be on your deathbed and like, I need to be drawing up a will. Just go and get that bad boy done now, so you will just forget about it, and then, you know, when you go, everything is, you know, how you want it to be.
Now, you have given us all of this amazing information, and I know it's so much more. But before it even gets to, can you tell us how can we all get in touch with you? I know I'm still gonna need to talk to you. I know it's others out there that need to talk to you as well. So can you tell us how the best ways to contact you?
Okay, so the best way to contact me is email. I mean, I have a phone number. People call me on it, but I look at my email way more than I look at my phone, to be honest. It's ejackson at eajlawoffice.com. And let me see if I can write it in the. Oh, can I write it?
Oh, don't worry about it. Our brother Ernest Usher is already going on.
Oh, well, good. Thank you. So yes, it's ejackson at eajlawoffice.com. That's usually the best way to contact me. I answer all my emails. I email you back. If I'm on Facebook, I answer Facebook often too.
Okay. Now, you gave us all this and dropped all these nuggets and provided us with so much knowledge. Before you go, I don't care what it is. It can be about law, and all you've given us can be about life. Can you give us something that's going to help us get to that next level?
Okay. What I like to tell people is, you know, whatever decision you make sure you stick to it. And the reason I say this is because, I was thinking about, so the reason I started my own firm, which is I was pregnant with my son, and I wanted to have way more time with my son. I was like, because I worked at a personal injury firm, and I said, oh, and it's a lot of work. And I said, I want to be able to, I'm bringing this child in the world, and I want to be able to, mother him and have the time to do it. And that's what made me start my own firm. I said, I'm going to stick to this, and I do. And my son, I work, my firm, I personally have 8 to 2 every day. Because that 2 to 4 is with my son. And I work Monday through Thursday, because on Friday, I answer emails. But on Friday, I take my son to the library. And he has, and people might say, that's weird. Other people can't do that. That's not true. You can do anything that you put the time to do. And people think, I tell people now who, used to be old colleagues, it means like, that's just strange that you only want to work, blah, blah, blah. No, because I know people who make more money than me, and they only putting in about 10 hours a week as an attorney. So I know it's possible. So don't let people tell you that it's not possible. Anything you want to do is possible. And if you stick to it, you'll find a way to make it work.
Ooh, you left us with a jewel right there. And I want everybody to understand what Eden left us with. You can do anything. The gift you have, your purpose in life, your vision that you have that God gave you. It did not say your vision only works if you do it a particular way. It works according to how you and God have decided it to work, and you can do whatever it is that you want to do. Now, Eden, I don't want you to go anywhere, because I still got some stuff I want to talk to you about after the show.
Okay.
But I want to let you know, I definitely am going to have to bring you back on, because you have been dropping nuggets. Everybody loves it, and we're wanting more. So I will definitely be getting with you to work with your schedule to see the next time that we can get you on. But I really want to say thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you, everybody, for listening.
Hey, we'll be talking to you soon. And again, don't go anywhere, because I will be talking to you right after the show. And again, thank you. And I will see you on the other side.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Man, I told you, it is very rare when I'm just stumped and I couldn't do anything, but I was taking it in just as you were. Eden taught us how to take our business, the beginning to how to leave it after we're gone. And I want you to understand, that's how your gift, that's the whole purpose of this show. That's how your gift works. Your gift, and you using that to live in your purpose, will be able to keep flourishing and nurturing others and taking care of everybody around you, even after you're gone. Now, Eden has left you her information for you to get in touch with her. Please reach out, because I know I am, because I got some talking to do, because she made my wheels start to turning on. How can I do better? Take my stuff to my family as well. Again, amazing show tonight, and I thank all of you for tuning in. I hope you have gotten something out of this, because I know I did. But at the end of the day, I want you to always remember to live in your purpose, with purpose, on purpose. Thanks again. I'll see you next week.
Hi, my name is Billy Graham Jr.
Growing up, everybody thought I was going to be an actor. They're like, you're funny, you should go be an actor. I was like, I can't be an actor, can you see? What is my purpose? If you're like me, I lost my purpose. I didn't know who I was. I let society put me in a box. I don't want you to be in a box anymore. Because you and you only are the one carbon copy. There is no other you. So how can you be in a box if it's only one you? So you need to steal your power back. Because we gave it to somebody. I want you to say, steal your power back. Steal your power back.
Mr. Graham said, I am an original, I'm not a photocopy.
You are where it begins. It begins with you and only you. You are the director. You are the author of this book. Nobody should be writing your life story. You are the winner. See, a lot of us, we get caught up in wondering when we're supposed to do something, why we're supposed to do something, where we're supposed to begin. But I'm telling you, you are the author of your book, and that's all that matters.
My time here in Kenya has been amazing. Everybody has welcomed us with open arms ever since we landed. Nothing but hospitality, nothing but family. We felt like we were home.